Njoroge Wairure. I'm a father of three girls, and of course, the husband of one wife. The three girls are in Marion schools, Kiambu campus. Oboy Njoroge in grade 4, Wanjiku Njoroge in grade 2, and Joki Njoroge in PP2. I'm an accountant by profession, and I'm happy to be part of Marion Schools by choice, and therefore I'm happy to be here. I've been with Marion Schools for now 4 years, since May 2018. And so far, I could say, because it is by choice, it's joined Marion Schools by choice, on first reasoning in search for schools when I settled on this site. Having visited a few schools, I could identify with what Marion Schools stand for, and especially the thorough and very intentional and deliberate coverage of the 4 domains, that is spiritual, emotional, physical, and intellectual. And therefore, that was the reason for why I chose Marion Schools. And my experience with this is that I've seen children who go back to, as I celebrate our Mashuja, our teachers, who actually do very great work. And I think I said that yesterday in our platform, that they remain our Mashuja, because we send children in the morning and receive them in the evening. And I gave my case of saying, when I'm receiving my girls in the evening, I see girls who have really improved. On that particular day, we talk of a day, a week, a term, a year after the other, and all that. I see girls who have really improved on these four domains. When they are talking about what they covered in school, in terms of the spiritual, how they prayed, and recited some verses and all that, and the kind of sharing they had. They are giving us Bible stories. When I listened to my young girl Joki talking about the other day, talking about Bartimaeus, for example, and the experience of Bartimaeus, and she's able to articulate that very clearly. It tells me that she's being equipped spiritually in a very special way, and so are other girls. When I heard yesterday, actually, Wanjiku telling me that she's going to learn starfish, I think she was calling it starfish, in swimming as a new tactic. She's saying they are going to learn star as a new, stuff, what do you call it? We call it starfish, starfish technique. Therefore, I could identify with that as a very physical activity in swimming, and therefore the physical domain in that case is well covered. When it comes to the emotional domain, yes, we experience some differences because our children are also different. There is that one who would be very good in the emotional domain, another one is not very good in that. But all in all, what the school does is very good, because the balances the children, and those who are not able maybe to be very well emotional connected, and maybe they develop some indiscipline. They are taken through a very good program to make sure that in that domain they also perfect very well. I liked it when my daughter was grounded. I think it got detention one Saturday a few weeks ago, and she saw by herself that she will never go through that experience again. And I know she's one of the best girls in her class. On the intellectual domain, yes, I'm blessed to have bred girls. Therefore, when I see one boy coming home and saying every other time they have gone for the CEO lunch and all that because of the performance in various activities. So far so good, and I appreciate it. Thank you. It's a very good question, especially at this time when we are reviewing the system. when I hear somebody talk about CBC in a manner that would suggest that it's not a good system, I may miss my sleep for that particular day. I'm in love with the system, very passionate about it. I like it, and first because it makes our children to be themselves. The other day when we were making some imbalance with my daughters, at that time a house with the other daughter and all that, and they're actually doing it practically. Know that we didn't do it in our time of grade 4, but our approach was very theoretical. Just pass exams, and there's nothing about who you become as a person. So CBC addresses the issue of who you become in terms of values, in terms of being practical and doing it yourself. I just love the system, and I think on the school implementation it has been great. The school, I think, was even looking at how we implement the 4 domains, was actually already very practical in terms of making the education rather practical than just passing of exams. Even as we set our goals for our candidates and all that, it makes them feel that they're the ones who are doing it. The school has been implementing its CBC in a very passionate way, and I believe it's a system that we are going to live with. I cannot imagine it being scrapped, but I'm happy that even as the government is talking, it's about improving, reviewing to improve, not to do away with the system. I love it, and I usually tell my parents, as the chair of the School Parents Association, that in the book of Psalms 127, it's telling us that children are a gift and heritage from God. To who? It's not to the school, it's not to the teachers, it's not to the country, it is to us, the parents. It's not, our legacy is not mainly on the many properties and many titles we would get and businesses and what have you. When it comes to our natural setting, God created our biggest heritage, and our legacy is our children. So whatever amount of engagement that I would be involved as the parent to these 3 girls, I would welcome it very, very happily, because I'm being engaged to be able to bring up the heritage, the gifts that God has given me. And therefore I passionately do it without complaining at all. Sometimes time may not be adequate, time constraint, and we have busy schedules and all that. We can get an excuse for not doing 1 or 2 things in the perfect way that we want to do because time has not allowed. But I would not participate in anyone complaining that maybe we are over-engaged. We would rather be engaged to be able to bring out our legacy, our children. The school engagement is quite intensive, I would say. We have very many activities that make sure that the children, even before CBC came, so that we are able to realize the 4 domains. Therefore, spiritually, we would have to go with our children to even having our parents weekends and fellowships and what have you, so that we are spiritually engaged with our children, and very many timely activities, the harvest days and what have you, so that we are also able to understand what our children are going through and how they are performing. Now we are lucky that CBC comes, and therefore parental engagement is not an exception. We have to be engaged, and I want to encourage our parents that we find it value adding, so that we are able to bring out our heritage, our gift in the best way, so that our legacy, once we are gone, is we are proud of it, even in our graves, wherever we are, that we brought up the best heritage of what God entrusted us.
Let me invite our Kiambu Camp Parents Rep Chair to come, and I'll hand over these learners to Mrs. Maina, kindly. Let's appreciate. Is that how we clap for our peer rep chair? This one is being done in style, and I want you to observe.
Thank you. Our learners, well done. Congratulations, our teachers as well. Well done. And now I officially hand you over to Mrs. Maina, so that can be able to progress to the next class. Or we come for them as we hand over. Thank you very much.
Wapigieni makofi mazuri jamani, hawa wanaingia awamu nyingine. Asante sana.